Chapter 19, Trial of the Crimson Moon Location, Ember Abyss, Crimson Hollow Environmental Buffs, Lunar Pressure Surge, plus 10% key efficiency for Scions under Crimson Moonlight, Combat Accessibility, Active Current Ages, Daiko, 9 Karo, 10 Zarek, 14. The descent from the Ember Citadel had grown colder. Flames gave way to blood-colored rock, and the walls began to shimmer with crimson pulses like a heartbeat hidden beneath stone. At the lowest level of the abyss, they found it. A circular chamber with no roof, open to the sky above, a sky where the crimson moon hung low and heavy. It wasn't natural. The moon shimmered with cursed energy. System notification, lunar field detected, hidden trial unlocked, trial of the Crimson Moon boss class entity approaching, Bloodshade Scion power level, 200 plus special trait, Berserk key instability, uncontrolled transformation risk, something's wrong, Karo whispered. That key, it's like a warped Scion. Zarek nodded, muscles tensed. It's not just warped. It's enraged. Suddenly, the ground shook. A figure dropped into the arena, a Scion covered in jagged scars, his aura flickering like unstable fire. His tail lashed wildly. Eyes bloodshot, almost feral. No name. No mind. Just trial, he growled, voice layered with key distortion. Enemy encounter, Bloodshade Scion, possessed warrior power level, 2250, fluctuating, status. Unstable, may enter forced Ozaru or Ikari states target behavior, Berserker. Nonverbal. Elimination trial. The battle, Crimson Awakening. The fight began before a word could be spoken. The Bloodshade Scion moved like a blur, his speed didn't match his mass. He slammed a knee into Zarek's ribs and hurled him like a ragdoll into the cliffside. Karo barely dodged a sweeping tail strike, retaliating with a rapid key scatter, but the Scion burst through it. Too strong. Karo shouted. Daiko's aura flared. Then we rise to meet it. He launched into the air, dodging a mouth beam, before retaliating with a triple Ember Dragon barrage chain. The first strike landed. The second connected. But the third was caught by a single hand. The Bloodshade Scion's muscles bulged, veins pulsing red. His power spiked, transformation triggered, incomplete Ikari state multiplier, x10, cap due to instability, new power level. 5000 plus Zarek reappeared in a blur of black and purple, his Chaos Pulse slam colliding with the side of the Scion's face, finally knocking him off balance. Buy me 10 seconds. Karo shouted, retreating behind a rock. Daiko and Zarek attacked in sync. Daiko using flight-enhanced kicks and his Dragon Barrage, while Zarek activated Chaos Field Distortion, warping the area around them to reduce enemy accuracy. Karo's eye glowed bright green as he charged a single, focused attack. Got you. He fired a precise Crimson Piercer shot, aimed directly at the corrupted core in the Scion's chest. The beam landed, piercing through the swirling crimson energy. The Scion froze mid-attack, energy flaring wild, uncontrolled, critical hit, core disruption successful, instability overload, target deconstructed with a scream of primal agony. The Bloodshade Scion's body burst into red particles, dissolving into the abyss. Post-battle outcome system notification. Trial of the Crimson Moon complete, rewards distributed. Skill progression gains, Daiko Ember Dragon Barrage, plus 8% 62% flight, plus 4% 38% auto key recovery, plus 3% 28% Karo precision shot, plus 5% 72% key scatter technique, plus 3% 41% flash sight, plus 3% 10% Zarek Chaos Pulse slam, plus 5% 71% Chaos Field Distortion, plus 4% 18% power level updates. Daiko, 1,550 Karo, 1,471,620 Zarek, 1,610 1,740 new item unlocked. Crimson Moon Sigil allows interaction with corrupted transformation states, may be refined into Ikari Path Key, requires additional trials. Aftermath, Moonlight Reflections. They sat in the ruins after the battle, breathless. That wasn't just a random trial, Daiko said. That thing was a failed version of us. A Scion too far gone, Zarek added grimly. If we lose control, we become that. Karo stood, hands shaking. Then we make sure we never lose control. The crimson moon above pulsed one final time, then faded into darkness. Chapter 20, Hall of Echoes. Location, Underworld Subdomain, Hall of Echoes. Environmental effect, Temporal memory drift. Hall reflects echoes of past Scion souls, combat accessibility, adaptive illusions, psychological and spiritual duels. Current ages, Daiko, 9 Karo, 10 Zarek, 14. After conquering the trial of the Crimson Moon, the trio emerged into a strange passage, one that pulsed not with ki, but with memory. The walls of the corridor shimmered like molten glass. Each reflection didn't show the present, it showed their pasts. Faint, flickering moments, like memories projected onto stone. System notification: you have entered the Hall of Echoes. This location tests not your strength, but your will. Engagement type: psychological resonance battles. Skill advancement possible through reflection mastery. Echo Gate 1, Daiko's trial. The passage narrowed, and a chamber opened. Daiko stepped forward. Alone. As soon as he crossed the threshold, the world blurred and reconstructed. He was back on Earth. Back in his office suit. Rain poured outside. The girl he saved stood before him, tears in her eyes. "You shouldn't have died," she said. "You had a choice." Daiko froze. He knew it wasn't real. And yet, it hurt like it was. "You saved me," she continued, "but who saved you?" Suddenly, he saw the blood. His body broken. The street. His own face. But instead of shrinking from it, he stepped forward. "I don't regret it. That choice is why I'm here. Why I'll keep rising." The scene shattered like a mirror struck by truth. System, resonance confrontation complete. Mental fortitude enhanced. Skill progress, martial comprehension plus 5%. Echo Gate 2, Karo's trial. Karo's chamber rippled into view next. A Cerealian battlefield unfolded, his people falling under Scion invasion. His mother's voice echoed, "Never forget who destroyed our people." Then another voice. His father's, calmer, deeper. "But never forget who you are now." Two halves of himself warred within, Scion pride versus Cerealian grief. He stood still. Not in denial. Not in rage. "I am Karo. Not just what came before me, but what I choose to become." A surge of light pierced through the conflicting visions, disarming both ghosts. System, resonance confrontation complete. Spiritual balance stabilized. Skill progress. Flash sight plus 4%, precision shot plus 3%. Echo Gate 3, Zarek's trial. Zarek's chamber was different. It was silent. Black. Then, his Majin half materialized as a distorted version of himself, laughing maniacally. "You hold back," it sneered. "You want to belong." Zarek stood silently. "You'll never be like them. You're chaos. Born of destruction." The vision lunged, a mirror of his own power, but Zarek didn't flinch. "I'll forge my own path. Chaos or not, I choose direction." He raised his palm and released a void pulse, swallowing the mirror image in one controlled strike. System, resonance confrontation complete. Inner identity harmonized. Skill progress, Chaos Pulse Slam plus 5%, Chaos Field Distortion plus 4%. Reunion, Hall Center. All three converged at the center, wiser, more grounded. In the heart of the hall stood a single glowing pedestal. A shard hovered above it. Item obtained, Echo Core Fragment. Purpose: unlocks advanced key refinement pathways for hybrid warriors. When combined with 3 other Echo Cores, may unlock ancestral inheritance routes. Daiko looked at the fragment. "Not all battles are with fists." Karo nodded. "But the ones inside us? Sometimes they're the hardest." Zarek, arms folded, gave a rare smile. "And now, we've won both kinds." Post-chapter updates, Daiko power level, 1700 1750 martial comprehension, plus 5% 52%. Karo power level, 1620 1680 flash sight. plus 4% 14% precision shot, plus 3% 75% Zarek power level, 1740 1800 chaos pulse slam, plus 5% 76% chaos field distortion, plus 4% 22% new item, Echo Core Fragment, 1 of 4, Chapter 21, Bloodline Memory Dive Location, Underworld, Chamber of Ancestral Resonance Environmental Buffs, Memory Imprint Link, Hybrid Type Compatible, Combat Accessibility, Ancestral Vision Battles, Non-Lethal, High-Stress Simulations Ages, Daiko, 9 Karo, 10 Zarek. 14 The trio emerged from the Hall of Echoes, Echo Core Fragment in hand. The path ahead narrowed into a jagged passage carved from black stone, humming with spiritual weight. The system pinged a notification the moment Daiko stepped inside. System notice, warning, resonance pulse detected. Echo Core Fragment reacting with environment. Identified chamber, bloodline memory dive. Purpose, initiates genetic lineage simulations. Compatible with Scion hybrid templates. Karo and Zarek followed closely, the chamber doors sealing shut behind them with a deep clang that echoed through their bones. Looks like we're not walking out the way we came, Zarek muttered. Daiko grinned. Then we walk forward. Phase 1, Scion Heritage Trial, Daiko, a beam of ancient energy struck Daiko's chest, and the chamber distorted around him. His body dropped limp, but his mind flared awake in another form. He stood amidst the ruins of planet Sadala. A battlefield. Scions clashed with a race of insectoid warriors, numbers swarming. And at the center of it, Yamoshi. The first Super Scion. Daiko could feel it in his bones. The air around Yamoshi crackled with golden fury. You carry my blood, Yamoshi said, turning toward Daiko. Then carry my will. Without warning, the insectoids attacked. Simulation engaged, high-speed combat analysis objective, survive 5 rounds against simulated onslaught swarm. Daiko moved instinctively. Ki flared. Fists clashed. His body strained beyond limits, using everything he'd learned in the underworld. Ki blasts exploded, flight patterns weaved through swarms, and his energy control refined under pressure. By the 5th round, he was panting, but standing. Yamoshi's image nodded. You have courage. But to awaken your lineage, you must remember it. With that, Yamoshi vanished, and the vision shattered. Phase 2, Cerealian Echo, Karo. Karo found himself within a desolate village, his mother's. Cerealian screamed. Buildings burned. At the center stood a phantom scion, not one he recognized, but a vision formed of his people's fear. You must choose, the system whispered. Vengeance or wisdom? Karo's eye narrowed. He activated flash sight, dashing through the phantom's attacks. Each blow triggered flickers of memory, his parents, their voices, the battlefield of his past. His sniper blasts were more focused now, tighter. Rather than defeat the vision with rage, he channeled control. I am both, he declared. Scion blood and Cerealian soul. His shots struck precise weak points, shattering the phantom. Simulation complete. Hybrid resonance stabilized. Unlocking blood memory branch. Phase 3, Mage Infusion Clash, Zarek. Zarek floated in a white void. A towering version of himself stood across from him, pure chaos energy in humanoid form. Unrefined. Laughing. You keep pretending you're in control, the doppelganger said. But you're still just a weapon waiting to be used. Zarek's ki surged. The black-violet aura of Majan blood cloaked him. He roared forward. The battle was brutal. Instant movement, ki detonations, force field clashes. Each strike rippled through the void. But then he smiled. You're right, Zarek muttered mid-fight. I am a weapon. But I choose what I cut. His chaos pulse detonated with renewed precision, this time focused. His doppelganger laughed even as it faded. Resonance chambers stabilized. The trio awoke simultaneously, lying at the center of the chamber. A new energy clung to their bones, ancestral, raw, but theirs. A pedestal rose between them. On it, a glowing sphere of light pulsed gently. Item obtained, Resonant Core merges with Echo Core Fragment to unlock lineage traits upon next Bloodline challenge. Post-chapter skill and power updates. Daiko power level, 1750 skills. Basic ki blast. Plus 4% 63% flight, plus 3% 48% martial comprehension, plus 5% 57% Karo power level, 1670 skills. Flash sight, plus 3% 17% precision shot, plus 5% 80% auto key recovery, plus 3% 35% Zarak power level, 1880 skills. Chaos pulse slam, plus 4% 80% chaos field distortion, plus 5% 27% charge energy, plus 3% 49% artifacts acquired. Echo core fragment, merged, resonant core, stored. Daiko stood up first, his aura sparking briefly with an echo of Yamoshi's. That was something else. Zarak rolled his shoulders. They weren't memories. They were warnings. Karo adjusted his gauntlet. Or maybe lessons. They didn't speak after that. There wasn't a need to. Only one thing remained clear: their blood had spoken, and they had answered. Chapter 21, Bloodline Memory Dive, Extended. The trio lingered in the chamber after the simulations ended. They hadn't spoken for several minutes, each caught in the aftermath of what they'd seen, what they felt. Sweat clung to their skin. Energy crackled faintly around them, the resonance from ancestral blood still echoing through their key channels. Daiko clutched his chest, not from pain but from intensity. The pressure of facing Yamoshi, the Yamoshi, was still alive in his bones. There had been no time to reflect within the simulation. Only act, survive, adapt. He knew me, Daiko whispered to himself. Not just my name. My spirit. Zarak leaned against a pillar of swirling spectral energy, his chest rising and falling. I fought myself, he muttered. But not just a mirror. It was what I could become, if I lose control. Karo paced the floor, his single cerulean eye glowing faintly. My vision was a choice. My people or my power. And I picked both. They stood there in silence, the chamber dimming now that the trials were complete. System notice, ancestral synchronization complete. Your bloodlines are now linked to the resonant core. You may revisit the bloodline dive chamber once per year for new lineage branches. A gateway lit at the far side of the room, an ancient archway of obsidian, its runes pulsing with light. Let's keep moving, Daiko said. There's more ahead. Interlude. Back on the surface of the underworld meanwhile, far from the trio, the distortion caused by the echo core merging had not gone unnoticed. Dark figures observed from scrying pools high above, the Watcher specters. Cloaked in whispers and ethereal chains, they murmured to each other. The resonance was successful. 3 hybrids, and not a single rejection. The Council of Flame will not be pleased. Not until one of them breaks. A fourth voice, low, ancient, and rumbling, interjected from the void. Then we will make them earn their ascension. Scene transition, final corridor emerging from the bloodline chamber, the trio entered a winding corridor carved in living stone. Their auras hummed with greater frequency, not just in strength, but in definition. Karo stretched out his hand and focused. A blue sniper beam surged from his palm, cleaner, sharper, tighter than before. Zarak summoned a spiral of chaotic violet energy around his fist. It swirled tighter than ever, more focused now. I didn't know I could control this much. Daiko punched forward, his fist causing the air to tremble. A flicker of golden yellow ki danced along his knuckles. His memory of Yamoshi's aura still hadn't faded. Next time, he said quietly, I won't just watch someone transform. I'll earn it. End of chapter. Skill and power updates. Daiko power level, 1850 skill gains, from internal reflection plus vision battle basic ki blast, plus 3% 66% martial comprehension, plus 4% 61% charge energy, plus 5% 57% Karo power level, 1750 skill gains, precision shot, plus 4% 84% flash sight, plus 3% 20% key sense, plus 5% 43% Zarak power level. 1870 skill gains, Chaos Pulse Slam, plus 5% 85% Chaos Field Distortion, plus 4% 31% Flight, plus 3% 55% artifact updates, Echo Core fragment, merged, resonant core, linked with genetic memory with the path ahead still shadowed, and the resonant core now part of their destiny. Daiko, Karo, and Zarek knew that whatever awaited beyond this chamber would not be a test of lineage, but of choice, conviction, and resolve.